A lot of people think the gate is a scam. In reality, most people just don't know how to shop on it. I've ordered from the gate before. Before I buy anything, I always check these 3 things. These 3 tips can help you avoid bad sellers and find really good quality products. And before we get into the video, if you're looking for high quality sellers and products, check out my spreadsheet in the description below. Let's get into it. The first thing I always check isn't actually the product, it's the seller. This is probably the most important step because there's often multiple sellers offering the exact same item. I would usually go for the buyer's pick because they have a top selling product with the highest ratings. Another thing you could do is click on the buyer's name and check their positivity feedback and amount of transactions they have. If the seller has a lot of transactions and a very high positive feedback rating, that can show you that the seller is pretty trustworthy. Here's an example. This listing looks good, but only 12 people bought it, but there are no reviews. But let's check the seller's details. This seller has a 100% positive feedback rating, but only 58 transactions, and their on-time delivery rate is below average, and their repurchase rate is not high at all. So I would be wary buying from this seller. So this listing looks good on paper, but when you look a little deeper, you might want to keep on looking. This listing right here is what you ideally want to look for. It's the buyer's pick with more than 4K sold and 400 reviews. If we check the seller's details like we did the last one, we can see this seller has a 99% positive feedback rating with 11,000 transactions and an on-time delivery rate above average. So I'll definitely go for this seller over the last one. Now for tip number 2. So my second tip is checking the reviews. It sounds obvious, but most people don't even check the reviews of what they're buying and wonder why they got some bullshit. Look for reviews who actually bought the product, took pictures, and reviewed it. This will tell you way more about the product than just what the listing showed. When looking through the reviews, look for mentions of sizing, the quality of the product, the shipping time, and if the product matches what they received. Make sure to even look at the negative reviews and check if it was actually justified or not. Look for repeated complaints about the same issues like bad quality or the wrong item being shipped. Those are huge red flags, and I would avoid that seller entirely. Now to tip number 3. Don't buy the first listing you see. I would at least look for 3 listings for the same product and compare the reviews, pricing, and shipping. Don't assume the first result is the best one. Sometimes taking 5 to 10 minutes to look for the best listing can save you the headache altogether. If one listing is way cheaper than all the others, that may be a sign that the quality is not the best, and paying a little bit more may be worth it. In my experience, you definitely get what you pay for. Don't be afraid to spend that extra buck if you really care about the quality. Another thing you can compare are the order numbers. Check how many people bought each listing. More orders usually mean they have more reviews and buyer photos to learn from. A listing with only a few orders doesn't automatically make it bad, but there's less information available and we're trying to make the best decision possible. So let's look at these 3 listings. This one is the cheapest, which is obviously appealing, but the first thing that catches my eye is that it only has 71 sold, yet it has over 2,000 reviews. That doesn't really make sense to me, and a lot of the 5-star reviews look very generic or repetitive. It doesn't automatically mean it's fake, but it's enough for me to keep looking at other options. Now let's look at listing B. It has around 1,400 sold and about 1,000 reviews, which seems a lot more believable. As I scroll through the reviews, I also see real customer photos and people talking about the quality. Overall, this one gives me a lot more confidence. Finally, listing C. Listing C is the most expensive out of the 3. It also has a lot of customer photos and even videos, and I'm not seeing many repeated complaints. It definitely looks like a solid listing, but you're paying a little bit more for that extra confidence. If I wanted to save a little bit of money, I'd probably go with listing B. It looks like the best balance between price and reliability. If I didn't mind spending a little extra, I'd go with listing C. It has the strongest reviews and the most customer photos. Personally, I'd skip listing A because there's a lot of things that make me question it. Before you buy anything on the gate, make sure to remember these 3 things. First, check the seller and make sure they have a good reputation. Second, read the reviews and pay close attention to buyer photos instead of just the product pictures. And finally, don't buy the first listing you see. Compare a few different sellers so you can find the best balance between price and reliability. If this video helped you out, I'd really appreciate it if you left a like and subscribe. I'm planning to make more videos on the gate covering things like the best products to buy, how to find good sellers, and ways to avoid common mistakes. If there's another video topic you'd like to see me cover, let me know down in the comments. Thanks for watching, and I'll see you in the next one.